And good evening, sports fans, and welcome into another KDSJ sports broadcast as we get ready for Tuesday night high school wrestling featuring the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers, the Newell Irrigators, and the Sundance Bulldogs. Live here from the Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2 as we feature some high school wrestling in the Digger Triangular tonight for their senior night and their parent night tonight. And we're going to be featuring some duels for girls and boys wrestling this evening here on KDSJ 980 AM, 103.5 FM, KDSJ980.com, and live tonight you can watch it for free through KDSJ-TV. Here's Clayson Davis along with us tonight here atop the Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2 to tell us more about the coverage tonight.
Yeah, I thought I was losing some oxygen on my hike up here. We're quite a ways up here in the Lead-Deadwood Gym number 2, but you're right, Cody. This is a pretty historic venue that we're in, a great place for some high school wrestling, and there's one great place where you can catch all of that, and that is on KDSJ-TV on YouTube. Still having some issues with the Facebook page, but for those wondering if it's on Facebook, tell your friends and family, second cousins, uncles, and whoever else that doesn't identify in those situations. Go on to our KDSJ YouTube page on YouTube on the internet on KDSJ-TV, and that's where you can find this live broadcast of some Gold Digger, Bulldog, and Irrigator wrestling.
And we're going to start out the matches tonight with Lead-Deadwood going up against Sundance, and then it'll be Sundance against Newell, and then wrapping things up after the senior night recognition, it'll be Lead-Deadwood taking on Newell in the finale. Not a whole lot of wrestlers coming here from Newell or Sundance, so they're going to try to move things around to make sure everybody that did make the trip here gets a match in, whether it's girls or boys, Lead-Deadwood, Sundance, or Newell. The Newell Irrigators under head coach Tyler Watterson. He used to be an assistant coach here at Lead-Deadwood. Used to be a great wrestler for the Spearfish Spartans. He's heading up the Newell program. So after a quick little phone call to him, he was able to agree and get some of his wrestlers over here. Filling in for Harding County. They had some transportation issues up there in northwestern South Dakota. So as they backed out, Newell decided to come over here today, and hopefully we can fill up the stands and have a good environment here at the Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2 here in the old Gym number 2, as they'll shine that spotlight down on the middle of the mat for tonight's matchups. Coming up, we'll hear from a guy that's wrestled here in this old high school Gym number 2, and he has some fond memories, and he always says this is the best wrestling environment in the state. Head coach of the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers, Mike Sneesby, will join us as we lay the foundation for the Digger Triangular tonight. High school wrestling on this Tuesday on KDSJ 980 1035, as well as online at KDSJ980.com and the mobile app, and our KDSJ TV coverage on YouTube. We'll be back after 1 minute to hear from Coach Sneesby.
Collision Repair has built their reputation by offering the highest quality, guaranteed repairs in the area. Satisfied customers return again and again for everything from collision repair to custom paint, glass and windshield, and the best hail repair in the region. They're preferred by most insurance companies and work with all of them. Jake's Collision Repair of Spearfish and Sturgis. Give them a Google today for the best repair on your vehicle, guaranteed.
At Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we are here to help you make your comeback. Our team is standing by to diagnose and treat your injury with some of the most advanced treatment options available and same-day appointments. Monument Health practitioners work closely with our therapists and physicians in communities throughout the Black Hills, with locations in Rapid City and Spearfish. Visit monument.health/orthopedics for more information. That's monument.health/orthopedics for more information.
As we continue, first match tonight between Lead-Deadwood, Newell, and Sundance High School Wrestling. We had a chance to catch up with the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers head wrestling coach Mike Sneesby, talking about how the girls did over the Christmas break. The boys have had a little bit of a layoff as they're anxious to get back on the mats tonight in parent night. Here's Coach Mike Sneesby for more of the Gold Digger Wrestling Program.
The girls wrestled in the Spearfish Girls Tournament last weekend, which was always a really tough tournament. I think we ended up 4th or 5th down there, wrestled well, had some really good competition, and So yeah, the boys have been off since Hot Springs before break, so they're ready to get after it.
And when you guys were down in Hot Springs, you not only you had the girls in the tournament, also the boys did some duels down there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we dueled Miller, and we dueled Lyman, and we also dueled Bennett County. Snuck a win away from those guys, and had some other good duels as well. So it was a good weekend of wrestling.
What are some of the good matchups, do you think, tonight between some of the guys for Newell and Sundance?
There's a few good matchups. I think there's that Bodie Vanderboom's a pretty good kid. I think he'll be wrestling Drew Janke tonight. A couple other good kids at 38, I believe. And then Sundance, I'm not quite sure on their lineup. I kind of looked through it, and looks like they do have some tough kids, though. So I don't know nothing about them. So, sometimes it's better to not know your opponent. You just go out and wrestle and just do your thing, So we'll see what happens.
What has been the training or the practice has been like over the last couple weeks?
Yeah, that first week of break, we had 2 weeks off. I think it was like 16 days or something. It was a longer break than normal. That first week we kind of recovered our bodies, took it light, got some decent workouts in. And then this last week we really started ramping it up, getting ready for postseason run here. I mean, it's already the 7th of January. Regions is in, 4 or 5 weeks. So it's actually starting to wind down already, which is kind of hard to believe.
Overall, in the program, again, in case people missed our preseason interview that we did, what are the numbers like for Lead-Deadwood girls and boys?
So the girls, I think we have 11. No seniors on the team, ranging from basically 8th grade through 11th. And then the boys, we have, I believe there's 10 on the roster. 1 senior, 1 junior, and the rest are freshmen and below. So as far as numbers go, we're trying to pick up those numbers every year. We got a lot of young kids, so the future looks pretty bright. So just gotta keep after it here.
We're gonna have the spotlight shining down. It should be a great atmosphere. We're gonna have it for you here on radio and KDSJ-TV. I know Sundance is gonna bring some wrestlers, Newell as well. So we'll try to fill up those weight classes for girls and boys. In case people want to take in some wrestling tonight up in Lead, what's the schedule?
Yeah, so I think. I believe it's us and Sundance first, and then Newell and Sundance will duel. And then we'll do our senior night presentation. Drew Janke's our only senior, so that won't take very long. And then we'll duel Newell. And then also after that, I don't think there's going to be very many girls matches, so I think we're going to try to do an inter-squad duel with the girls. Just get them out there on the mat, let them wrestle, run 4 or 5 matches with them. Get them exposure, to show everybody what we've been working on and all the hard work they've been putting in.
For girls, Lead-Deadwood, who are some of them to watch out for tonight?
We got some tough girls. Like I said, we won that tournament a couple weeks ago. The 3 that stick to my mind that have been around for a while is Ivy Hayes. She's wrestling really well. Eddie Atkins, CC Percy. And then we got some younger kids that are really, really stepping up. Kyla Lee. Looks really good. First-year wrestler. She's a freshman. I think she won 3 matches last weekend. So for her, that was huge confidence boost. Harlow McCauley at 126. She's also a freshman, wrestling really, really tough. Beat some really, really good girls last weekend.
And that's once again the Gold Digger Triangular coming up tonight up at the Lead-Deadwood High School, gym number 2. The action on the mats beginning at about 5 o'clock, and it'll continue until around 8 p.m. tonight. After this, what's coming up on the schedule here over the next couple weeks?
So it kind of gets to the meat of our season. So we'll have a girls duel this coming Thursday down in Douglas. And then Friday, Saturday, we go down to Presho, down to the Mid-Dakota Monster, which is always a really, really tough tournament. It's really fun. And then the following weekend, we got conference, and we got a bunch of duels scattered in between there and winter. And, it kind of starts really winding down. So a couple weeks here, we're really, really busy.
Once again, looking forward to some high school wrestling at home tonight up in Lead. Check things out beginning at 5 o'clock in person there at the high school gym or online at KDSJ980.com and through our YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, Coach Sneesby, for the time, and we'll see you later on tonight.
Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it.
You see them everywhere. That's because Heinzerling Concrete of Spearfish is the most trusted name for everything from driveways, sidewalks, decorative stamp patios, and of course, foundations. Heinzerling Concrete is proud to support the activities that help our area youth build their foundation for future success. Whatever the job, Heinzerling Concrete is the name you can trust. Google Heinzerling Concrete in Spearfish or call 210-2320.
Beef Logic, Inc. is proud to sponsor South Dakota's high school and collegiate athletes this season as they work alongside their partners at the South Dakota Beef Industry Council to deliver the Build Your Base Sports Nutrition Program at local high schools and colleges around the state and the country. Are you looking for a simple, easy-to-follow program that can help you and your family optimize performance both on and off the field of play? Check out buildyourbase.org and learn why beef continues to be the
Deadwood High School Gym number 2, and coverage tonight of the Lead-Deadwood Gold Digger Wrestling Triangular this evening, as we've had some wrestling matches so far this winter sports season. Been over to Sturgis a few different times for some duels over there, featuring the top ranked in Class A Sturgis Scoopers. This is the first time seeing Lead-Deadwood as we welcome in some wrestlers from Newell tonight, as well as Sundance, Wyoming. They probably don't get to see Sundance that often. Newell they probably see, but let's see, both of those teams are in Class B here for South Dakota, so they are in the same region. As we have a look at the rosters tonight for Lead-Deadwood, looks like they have 11 girls and 10 boys. Sundance brought 9 athletes, and Newell brought 4. So we're going to have to divvy these up a little bit between this triangular of who's going to wrestle who. Unfortunately for Lead-Deadwood, a lot of their girls are all in the same weight class. So they're going to do a little exhibition afterwards later on tonight around 7:30. So if you're still late to get in here, you can see the girls wrestle. Lead-Deadwood going to have, I guess, some of them are going to wrestle in lead singlets. Some of them will wrestle in the old school Deadwood uniforms. So that will be later on tonight as the girls will get a chance since Sundance only brought a couple girls and Newell brought none. They'll get their chance later on tonight for Lead-Deadwood on the inter-squad scrimmage, I guess you would call it. The head coach of the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers is Mike Sneesby, as we heard from him here in our pregame show. The head coach of the Sundance Bulldogs is Parker Seeley, and the head coach of the Newell Irrigators is former Spearfish Spartan standout Tyler Watterson, heading up the program over in Newell. And again, our schedule has Lead-Deadwood going up against Sundance first, and then it'll be Sundance against Newell. They'll have senior night recognition for Drew Jenke for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers, the only senior for Lead-Deadwood. I think they only have one junior on the boys' side of things. And then we'll get into the final match of the night, Lead-Deadwood taking on Newell. So I believe just a rolling schedule tonight. So between now and about 7:30 p.m. we'll have some wrestling here at the Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2 as the stands continue to fill up. We're high above in the balcony. I have no idea what's happening below us because we can't see, but we got the scoreboard across from us and we got the bleachers, and going to have the national anthem. I think Phoenix, Canada, senior for Lead-Deadwood, will be doing the national anthem. Hopefully we can pick that up on our mics tonight as well. And we'll send it over to Clayson Davis for more over there on KDSJ-TV.
Yeah, like you said, Cody, high up here in the atmosphere of a Lead-Deadwood Old Gym number 2 as the track. I've never seen a track with this big of walls around the corners. As I bet that was probably built for speed and agility back in 1980 something, or whenever they decided to put this up. I don't know the history of it, but no, it's a pretty cool little venue. Of course, with the lights are all off here on KDSJ-TV, it's kind of hard to get a good glimpse of all of the venue, but it's a pretty sweet little spot right here. As Cody kept bragging to me throughout the entire sports season, it is the best spot for wrestling in all of West River, South Dakota. And I'd say it's pretty up there with, along with Sturgis. These two are probably the best venues you'll find really in the whole state, in my opinion, not including the state tournament. So, no, happy to be here. Pretty nice, neat little setup. Again, we're up here clear above in the track, which might double as the rafters for someplace. I about hit my head on the ceiling just trying to walk in here, as this is not tall person friendly, I do admit. But no, really cool spot, and I think we're going to be in for some good wrestling here tonight.
It's pretty cool to see just the spotlight right now down on the mat there on KDSJ-TV. You can go to our YouTube channel to check out more details on that, and of course more things that we have on the schedule for this week, as our coverage of winter sports being brought to you by Proline Equipment Rental. Also thanks to Wolf's Plumbing and Heating and Butte Electric over there in Newell. Of course, a proud supporter of the Newell Irrigators and our other sports going on throughout this winter season. So thanks to some new sponsors coming on board here for 2025. We have Tropical Smoothie over in Spearfish being added here for the new sports season. So glad to have them on board. They're bringing us our replay over on KDSJ-TV. Also going to be with us for BH basketball and some high school wrestling and basketball as well. Tonight's Law on the Mat is being brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Division of Consumer Protection. And our officials for tonight's triangular will be Brock Besler and Bradley McCaben. And I believe that's how you pronounce McCaben.
Yes,
that or
McCaben.
Okay.
I used to work for a few McCabens up north of Bell.
And those officials are licensed by the South Dakota High School Activities Association. So they'll be taking care of things on the mats tonight. We got Mr. Campbell running the scoreboard, and a lot of different administrators for Lead-Deadwood taking on roles that they don't do very often when it comes to wrestling. But Coach Sneesby says it's all hands on deck. We got Newell here, we got Sundance here, we got parents, grandparents, and fans. So let's put on a good show tonight for all those in attendance here at Lead-Deadwood High School, gym number 2. We will have our national anthem being done here by Lead-Deadwood senior Phoenix Canada. He's got a great voice. Hopefully we can pick that up on our KDSJ radio mic here tonight. Thanks once again to Lead-Deadwood senior Phoenix Canada performing our national anthem tonight. And he was doing that right down there by the mat as we get ready for our first duel of the night between Lead-Deadwood and Sundance. Some of the notables coming up here for Lead-Deadwood on the mats tonight. Owen Sneesby, the young guy, will get a chance possibly tonight, or Wace Camier. They'll be wrestling at 106 pounds. Lead-Deadwood is going to be open at 113. At 120 as Levi Key or Cole Harding. At 126, it'll be open for Lead-Deadwood. At 132 will be the lone senior, Drew Jenke. Peyton Percy will be there at 138. 144 will be Parker Millard. And then we're open at 150. Moving up to 157, we see Zaid Seaman. Then open at 65 and 75. Brennan Mead fills the 190 spot. Also, after weigh-ins today, we have Garrick Kolsky at 215 and nobody at heavyweight for all three teams this evening. So we'll see how they match up between Newell, Sundance, and Lead-Deadwood. And again, here in the opener of our triangular, which means three teams, three different duels. It'll be Lead-Deadwood taking on Sundance here in the first matchup. As we say thanks to some more of our winter sports sponsors, including Pillin Optical over in Rapid City, Monument Health, Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Our broadcast booth is up here on the track, as Clayson mentioned, looking down on the mat. And we got the scoreboard right across from us. And we are waiting for them to have their official lineups coming across here for this first duel between Lead-Deadwood and Sundance. So thanks to Monument Health for bringing us our broadcast booth. And we're on level surface here up on the track. Also, thanks to Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, they bring us our scoreboard throughout the winter sports season. So far, it's 0-0 as we haven't started the duel yet. Again, Lead-Deadwood with 21 athletes, and Sundance bringing 9. Newell bringing 4. The Newell Irrigators have 3 sophomores and an 8th grader. Dyson Oxenberg is at 120 pounds. At 126 is their best wrestler, Bodie Vanderboom. Then you have Joe Eaton at 132, and Will Irk is an 8th grader for Coach Watterson's squad, the Newell Irrigators. Lead-Deadwood just coming out of the Christmas break. Yesterday was a staff professional development day, so no school for the students. Teachers had to be in the classrooms, and then today, first day of school coming out of the Christmas break. So Lead-Deadwood wrestlers haven't been wrestling since a Hot Springs wrestling tournament back in December before the Christmas break. The Lead-Deadwood girls got 3rd at the Spearfish wrestling tournament this past Saturday over in Spearfish. So the Lady Diggers wrestling team performing well this past Saturday in a tough tourney over there. Spearfish ended up winning that tournament. And this will be the first time seeing all 3 of these teams. A supporter of Sundance Bulldog Sports is Powder River Energy, thanks to their sponsorship here during the winter sports season. The Gold Digger basketball teams will be in action later on this week. Thursday, they will be at Ulrich's, and then Friday we'll have their doubleheader here at home against New Underwood. As they take care of the introductions of the officials, the lineups for all 3 teams. Again, our first duel is going to be Lead-Deadwood and Sundance. The Gold Digger girls wrestlers so far, they've been down in Custer. They went to Rapid City Invite. They went to a triangular up in Bellefouche. They went to the Holiday Extravaganza down in Hot Springs, which they won the girls tournament there on that Friday. And then they went to the Spearfish Girls Wrestling Tournament where they got 3rd this past Saturday and now able to host tonight. And again, the girls will have their main showing after all the boys matches in that inter-squad exhibition, as Newell and Sundance didn't bring enough girls to match them up in the duels. The boys, as I mentioned, for Lead-Deadwood have been often since the Hot Springs Holiday Extravaganza. They were in the East-West duels during that. They went 1-2 in the East-West duels on that Friday, and then the tournament on the Saturday, right before Christmas break. They, of course, were one of 55 teams that competed in the Rapid City Invite, and that was over in Rapid City for 2 days back in December. They went to the Custer tournament, and they had a triangular up in Bellefouche back in December as well. Coming up for Lead-Deadwood after this, I think they go to Press Show this weekend. And it looks like they'll have a duel over in Wall coming up this week, and then the Press Show tourney. See what they go with, if they're going to do a girls match here to begin things.
Yeah, we'll start off with the girls matchup. I believe we'll have Sundance Shyla Schoen going up against CC Percy. 138 for Lead-Deadwood and Sundance. And we're off.
And there is 2-minute periods, go up to 3 periods as they get started there in the center circle. Sundance Lady Bulldogs and the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers in a girls matchup.
As both girls trying to get wrapped up around the head to start off this matchup. Again, just 2 wrestlers, 138 apiece here at the girls matchup. It's a good chunk of people here, but still very quiet here in this gym. But, again, both girls in the headlock. Now it looks like Schoen trying to get control of the wrist. Doesn't like it. So then both girls stay in the headlock. Percy getting the old black and orange Deadwood Bears uniform.
Cecilia, or we call her Cece, Percy, going up against Shyla Schoen here in this lone duel between Sundance and Lead-Deadwood.
Percy went to go for a single leg, and now he's got it wrapped around the neck, trying to half Nelson's part of it. And that'll be 3 points awarded to Percy right there to get the duel started. So Percy with a shooting into a double leg takedown, finally gets the 3, and now she is on top trying to find some sort of opening, either a wrist or a shoulder she can take advantage to roll over. She's going to go for just a half Nelson, then trying to tilt, got to control of that shoulder. Couldn't quite get control of it, but instead will just flow, get Schoen on her back. Schoen trying to keep her shoulders off the match. Cece now rolls over to the backside, trying to get control again of that shoulder. That right shoulder, trying to roll it over. Now Cece starting to drive on that right shoulder. Schoen might be in some trouble, as now we got near fall points for Cece Percy. The shoulders not quite down. Cece still driving, trying to get those shoulders down. Schoen in trouble. 4 near fall points awarded for Cece Percy, as they could be going for the pin, and that's where it is. Cece Percy gets the first pin of the night here of the Lead-Deadwood Digger Triangular.
And nice to see Cece get the victory there for Lead-Deadwood. Start off things here. And Cece with the win over Shyla Schoen of Sundance. The final on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard, 3-0. And now we'll go into the boys portion of the duel. I believe they're going to start with an exhibition match here. So we'll bring up, I'll take care, see if I can get out of the girls' screen here and bring up the boys through track wrestling.
So we'll have an exhibition match. I don't know who they said it would be about or who it would be with.
They do the flip in center circle. Got red and green portions of the coin. What are they flipping for, Clayson?
I believe what wrestler they want to show first.
And that'll be the same throughout the night.
I believe so. Don't quite have all the right answers.
I was gonna say,
like Rex Lyon,
not
but
not sounding so confident for me. Let's see what day it is. It's Tuesday, January 7th. Okay. Bear with me.
1 day past the 6th, 1 day before the 8th.
Thank you.
There's a very famous person's birthday on the 8th.
Yours?
Well, yeah, I was going to go Jim Callis. I was going to give my...
Oh, give your boss some respect.
Yeah.
His birthday is tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh.
Him and I share a birthday. Fun fact.
Oh, well, I forgot cake and cupcakes, so sorry.
Oh, shoot. I'll only hold it against you if you forget tomorrow. Here we go.
165 is what they begin with, so we're going to Lead-Deadwood's open there.
Well, that's an early 3-0 lead for Sundance. There's going to be a lot of those throughout the night, I do believe.
I think 175 is going to be open, but Brandon Mead at 190 might be our first competitor for Lead-Deadwood. Again, Gold Digger and Sundance and Newell Wrestling this evening on KDSJ 980, 103.5, KDSJ980.com, and check it out with the video link. You can watch it for free through KDSJ-TV. So again, in this matchup, Lead-Deadwood and Sundance. We started at 165, and there is an open spot for Lead-Deadwood. Both teams were open at 175, and then at 190, Brandon Mead comes on the mat, but Sundance is open at 190. Garrett Kolsky goes for Lead-Deadwood at 190, and we do have a matchup at, let's see, at 215. Garrett Kolsky looks like he's going to be matched up with Cale Hartless. If they both come to the scores table to double check here.
Yeah, there'll be a few of those today, a lot of open matches, so it's going to be a little bit of a time trying to keep track of the match. But yeah, here we are, 2:15, and we got Cale Hartless of Sundance going up against Garrett Kolsky from Sturgis. Right off the bat, we got action at 2:15 as Half Nelson thrown down to a takedown. That'll be 3 points awarded right away to Sundance. So the Bulldogs on top early, and now Harless trying to roll over the left shoulder. Holy cow, that did not take long.
16 seconds, in fact, to give the pin to the Sundance Bulldogs. Nice showing there by Cale Harless at 215 pounds. He gets the pin there, so 6 points for Sundance. And again, 16 seconds is all it took to get the victory for him over Meade for Lead-Deadwood. We go to heavyweight. Everybody's open there. And then we go back around to 106 pounds. Looks like Lead-Deadwood's Owen Sneesby or Wace Camier. Owen's going to get out there, and he's going to get his hand raised automatically, as that is a forfeit, as nobody for Sundance at 106. 113 is going to be open for both teams. We are going to have a matchup at 120. Cash Peterson going for Sundance. He'll be going up against either Levi Key or Cole Harding for Lead-Deadwood. So we're going to have to listen in on who's going to be going here for the Gold Diggers.
He gave another 6 points to Lead-Deadwood. So they're technically leading the duel 18-12, even though we've had one match. Yeah, when you get down to these smaller schools, I mean, we see in the Class A ranks that not everyone can complete a full team. Words are hard today. But that is more so when it comes to these smaller schools.
Yeah.
Here we go, 120-pound matchup. And right away we go to a shoot down into a double leg by Levi Key. And that goes right into a takedown for Sundance. He starts off 3-0. And that is Cash Peterson. Peterson trying to roll over that shoulder. He is currently getting near fall points. Now Key trying to keep his shoulders up above the mat. He's currently rolled over on the left shoulder. Sundance trying to drive the left shoulder back. He's got the wrist stretched outward. Needs to turn the palm upward so it would lose the momentum for Key to keep his shoulder above the mat. Again, early 3-0 start for Sundance after a quick takedown to get ready to start off the match at 120.
For Lead-Deadwood, Levi Key is an 8th grader, but he'll get pinned here by Sundance, with Cash Peterson getting the victory by pin here at 120 pounds. So that evens the dual score up at 18 apiece.
And again, that was just a quick start for Cash Peterson. And really, once you get that quick start, especially in a wrestling match, when you've got all the momentum against you, it's going to be really hard to recover.
For Lead-Deadwood at 126, they're open. Tell Marchant goes for Sundance, so he'll get the automatic points here. We will have a matchup at 132. Lyman Halverson for Sundance going up against Drew Janke, the lone senior for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. And Janke placed at the Rapid City Invite back in December. And he'll have the matchup here at 132, Halverson against Janke.
As we start off right away with the takedown from the Sundance. And now looks like Janke trying to get control of the leg of Sundance Halverson. And Halverson now trying to pick up the opposite leg. Flatten out Janke. Janke keeping the base on the mat. They're in the bottom position as Halverson having control of that left wrist. See if you can try to flatten out Janke down to the mat. And Janke's having a great time trying to get it up and out. And now Halverson having control of that wrist, has his Janke's wrist wrapped around the back of the neck, and see if he can roll over Janke. Janke down on the mat. And Janke in trouble now as we got near fall points awarded to Sundance. That'll be 3 points. And now Janke starting to lose some momentum, trying to bridge up on the mat. And he won't get the stalling call, and he will get the pin. So at 132, Drew Janke from Lead-Deadwood falls to Lyman Halverson.
And I think, let's see, we're going to see Jinky come out again here. And he'll turn around. And since we have so many opens, they'll just match some people up. And Caton Mayberry. Let's see. He'll be up next for Sundance. Now it's Lyman Halverson going up against Janke. Again, the last 6 points went to Sundance as Tell Merchant got the victory there for Sundance. Tell Merchant with the win for Sundance to get them the 6 points on the pin. And now we're at the 132 with Halverson and Janke.
Has just had a quick takedown by Sundance, and then Janke on the other side with a reversal, getting himself now in a dominant position on top of Halverson. I thought these two just wrestled, but I was looking at 126 as now both wrestlers roll out of bounds. So for everyone, every time I said Halverson last match, ignore me. That was not correct.
That was Tell Merchant.
Yes.
The one for Lead-Deadwood, just a little bit of gold. Cole Harding took the loss there for Lead-Deadwood.
This is why you keep my life on track.
I'm just reading what I see on the screen here from Track Wrestling, and they're helping me out, but I didn't refresh my screen, and that's why I couldn't help you out sooner.
Well, we're just letting her fly. Has an escape to
I would think
started.
Janke should win this match, I would think. He's down 4-2.
That's a big takedown from Janke. Swept the leg. Mr. Miyagi would be proud. As now Janke on top of Halverson. See if he can get that left shoulder to go. Halverson trying to get his wrist free. They're both hand fighting down below. Now we got some near fall points from Janke. He's got 4 near fall points awarded to Janke. That makes him go up 5-4. There's another near fall for 4 more points. So it's now 9-0 Lead-Deadwood. Drew Janke currently leading Lyman Halverson. Janke starts off by just pile driving Lyman down to the ground, and right there is another near fall from Lead-Deadwood's Drew Janke, and that will get him up with an 11-4 lead.
They're going to give him the points right before the buzzer sounded there that first period. So they do give 2 more points to Drew Janke on senior night. He'll be recognized later on this evening as the lone senior that's made it all the way through the program for Lead-Deadwood. He has an 11-4 advantage here as we start off second period.
As Janke will start off on the bottom. Again, up by 7 points as we got a potentially dangerous call on the mat. So Halverson and Janke will do it all again.
I want to say thanks to Jinx Collision Repair. They brought us our Countdown to First Match show, featuring an interview with Gold Digger head coach Mike Sneesby. Jinx Collision Repair, locations in Spearfish and Sturgis.
Now Janke starting to get himself in some trouble as he's trying to roll his left shoulder up off of the mat. Halverson having a hook on that right shoulder. Now Halverson will advance over to the top with his body around the midsection, now trying to fall into a half Nelson. That eventually slides over to the shoulder. Janke's not letting him have it. Is Janke still down on the bottom? Still 11-4, Janke on top of Halverson. As now both wrestlers in a little bit of a scramble. Janke, he rolls on top. He gets another 2 more points. He goes up 13-4. Janke now in the dominant position.
Getting some Gold Digger faithful behind him here, as we hear in the stands.
As Janke makes his way back down to the midsection, has a wrap around the hip, and now the shoulder. Janke now trying to get some near fall points. He's getting back points currently, trying to get the pin and end this one early in the second. As we got about 26 seconds, and there it is. Drew Janke on senior night. He gets the pin at 132 and ties the duel up between Sundance and Lead-Deadwood at 24 apiece.
Big match there by Drew Janke to win it and tie things up as Lead-Deadwood and Sundance dueling here in the first of 3 duels tonight here at the Lead-Deadwood High School gym. We finally had a match there between Janke and Halverson. go to 138. It's going to be a matchup here between Keaton Mayberry for Sundance. He'll be wrestling Peyton Percy for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. Here at 138, Mayberry against Percy.
Not as much action to start off this match compared to the last few. In Keaton Mayberry in the red singlet on KDSJ-TV, the black and orange throwback to the Deadwood Bears, worn by Peyton Percy.
As the light shines down on the nice big mat here at Lead-Deadwood High School, gym number 2. Sundance and Newell will duel next.
As Percy thought about shooting down into a single leg, backed out of it when he realized he couldn't get there in time. Now both wrestlers taking shots at the head. No one's pulled out the steel chair yet. We might see an attitude adjustment, courtesy of John Cena, coming up if nothing else happens. But both wrestlers there. There's the double leg, big takedown at 138. As that's Peyton Percy awarded with the quick 3 for Lead-Deadwood. As now he gets Mayberry in some trouble.
I watched the beginning of Cena's farewell tour last night on Netflix.
It is on Netflix now. I did forget about that.
I didn't watch the NDSU Bison win, so I just went over to Netflix.
Yeah,
instead.
you know.
Oh, did we see that on KDSJ Tropical Smoothie replay? That right down on his shoulder and his neck. Both of these guys showing some power with 33 seconds left to play here in the first period. 3-1 Gold Diggers. And that's Peyton Percy.
Yeah, that was a big double leg takedown from Peyton Percy earlier in this period. Again, 33 seconds left to go in this first period. As Percy affirms on top, not allowing Mayberry to get away, as now Percy flattens Mayberry down to the ground, and we got a hold, I believe, so that will be a penalty point awarded to Peyton Percy. No, excuse me, not Peyton Percy, against Peyton Percy for Keaton Mayberry. Percy stays on top as Mayberry is doing his best to get away, but Percy now trying to lock in that back left shoulder and roll Mayberry back on his side. Mayberry starts to build a base underneath. Percy not wanting to get too high and get rolled out and get himself in a bad position. Gets Percy back onto his feet as the buzzer rings, and we got a good one here at 138 between Peyton Percy and Keaton Mayberry.
Let's say thanks to some more of our sponsors before we get into the second period, including Home Source Furniture and Floors. They'll be helping us bring some Yellow Jacket basketball back to the airwaves on Thursday. Let's see, Beef Logic and the South Dakota Beef Industry Council bringing us our matchup menu. And here the matchup is at 138, Keaton Mayberry against Peyton Percy.
As Mayberry got himself into some trouble, got too flat and rolled over on his back, and that gave Peyton Percy the try. We got some near fall points for Peyton Percy as Mayberry trying to get rolled over back onto his stomach as he went straight on his back, and Percy pounced. As now Peyton Percy trying to roll back Mayberry over across that right side. No near fall points are being awarded yet to Percy, but he could just be going for the pin. The ref looking underneath, still no call yet. Now makes his way over to the other side, still no points yet. Percy has, it looks like both shoulders down on the ground. Ref has still yet to call it as nothing has quite happened, and there's the pin. As Percy held that position on Mayberry for about a good 4 or 5 seconds as Percy did not let Mayberry get out of that grasp, had both shoulders down on the ground, and there was nowhere for Mayberry to run. And now Lead-Deadwood takes the lead in the duel.
Percy gets the win there for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers, and by a pin, so nothing's gone the distance so far. It'll be 6 points for Lead-Deadwood as they get the pin, go up 30-24. Then at 1:44, we will have Parker Millard come out for Lead-Deadwood. He will not have an opponent for Sundance, so that'll be a forfeit. So 6 more points for Lead-Deadwood makes it 36-24. And then we go to 150, and Lead-Deadwood will not have a wrestler. Cole Van Horn will go on to the center circle and accept the free points for Sundance to make it 36-30 Lead Deadwood. This might get it close, everybody. And at 157, it comes down to this. We will have both teams with a wrestler, and it's going to be...
I'll let you do that one.
Okay, yeah. Woodsy Zato against Zaid Seaman for Lead Deadwood.
And right off the bat, Seaman from Lead Deadwood getting the first takedown.
This is the final match of this duel between Sundance and Lead Deadwood, with the Gold Diggers up 36-30.
As Seaman getting control of that left ankle, not letting Zato really get anywhere, as Zato now he's trying to make his way up to the ankles. Both wrestlers has control of each other's feet, and Zato is the one who has control of both legs for Sundance.
Seaman grabbed him first like he was wrestling a calf during branding, and then they get down to the mats here with 1:10 left to go, first period. 3 points for Green, just like that.
As now that should make it 6-0, I do believe. I don't know why they haven't changed the scoreboard yet, but still 3-0 on the score. There's that 3 points for Lead Deadwood as near fall points comes into play. So an early 6-0 for Seaman and Lead Deadwood. And 157, Woodsy Zato still trying to get his first point of the match. It could be through an escape, but Zato is not going to let Seaman get away. 34 seconds left to go in the first period as both wrestlers make their way over to the out-of-bounds line, as they both roll out of bounds toward the bleachers, and we will stop play right there with about 26.9 seconds left to go in the first period. 6-0 lead at 157 for Lead Deadwood's Zaid Seaman over Woodsy Zato.
Might have some blood, so a little bit of blood time here as athletic trainer Cree Bowen for the Lead Deadwood Gold Diggers will come 10 to Zaid. Again, we got 6-0 in favor of Lead Deadwood as they lead the duel 36-30. This is the final match of the duel, so it comes down to this. And they're going to clean up some blood around the ring here and on the mat. After this, it'll be Sundance dueling Newell. Sundance brought 9 athletes. Newell brought 4. So that'll be pretty quick. I believe they're just going to have rolling schedule as we go through the night tonight. This first duel starting at 5. The next one a little bit after this gets done. And then Lead Deadwood will go up against Newell in the finale. And then if you want to see the Lead Deadwood girls wrestle, they'll have their exhibitions when it's all said and done.
As now we have Lead Deadwood Seaman trying to roll back on that right shoulder, as now Zato rolls back over to the behind Percy around his midsection. He now gets Percy down on the ground. As now both wrestlers still trying to get some momentum at the end of the first period. Nothing happened, no points awarded, and we will end period number 1 with a 6-0 lead for Zaid Seaman and Lead Deadwood Gold Diggers.
And Seaman will be down to begin this second period. Both of these athletes are quick.
157, just big enough to get some powerful moves in there, but still quick enough and nimble enough to throw some moves and use their speed and agility as well. As we start off at the second period with Zato wrapped around Percy. As
Seaman.
I don't know why I kept on wanting to say Percy. But Seaman still down underneath as he's trying to get back up to his feet. Zato having both of his legs wrapped around the right thigh of Seaman. In response, Seaman tried going for the ankle to loosen up the grip, as I believe we have a stalling call. Or do we have an official timeout? Yes, I think we got another timeout for blood.
He's going to come over to the scorers table here. They will take one of athletic training will take care of him. Another athletic trainer will come onto the mat to clean things up. Again, Lead-Deadwood boys have been off for a few weeks. Not off, but other than wrestling against yourselves in the wrestling room, they were at the holiday extravaganza down in Hot Springs right before the Christmas break. They had 3 duels down there. And then they've been wrestling against each other in the room. Now, on a Tuesday night, welcoming in Sundance and Newell to take care of a triangular here.
As we're back in action at 157, Seaman now getting Zato down on his back. Zato now rolls Seaman back over to get Sundance in a dominant position. Zato has both of his arms wrapped around the midsection and the arms of Seaman, as now Zato will start to drive over the right shoulder of Seaman. Seaman tries to combat that. He has a hold of the right leg of Zato. So Zato drive is held up. Now Seaman rolls himself up on top, and they'll get award him with a reversal and 2 points, making it an 8-0 lead for Seaman and Lead-Deadwood. Now Seaman starting to drive the arm back and up of Zato. Zato with near fall points. We have more near fall points being awarded to Lead-Deadwood as Seaman trying to go for the pin. There it is.
Zade Seaman getting the pin for Lead-Deadwood and making this a gold digger win here this evening in this first duel. So points go to Seaman for the victory and 6 more points on the duel scoreboard as Lead-Deadwood wins the duel. 42-30 is your final score. And I believe that's it because we started at 165, wrapped around, ended at 157. And that will be it here in this duel. Lead-Deadwood getting the victory 42-30. And highlights and more available through KDSJ-TV on our YouTube channel. We're going to take a break. We're going to have a 2-minute timeout before we come back for some coverage and some highlights of Sundance against Newell. It's high school wrestling on a Tuesday night, part of KDSJ Sports on AM, FM, online streaming, and through KDSJ-TV.
Protein for athletic performance and recovery.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Vehicles today are complicated and expensive. The professionals at Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Spearfish are here to guide you through everything automotive. From cars, trucks, and SUVs to parts and repairs, Junix takes the confusion out of automobile ownership. Enjoy the ride with Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Family owned since 1931 on West Jackson in Spearfish.
I own this shop and an electric co-op.
We own this ranch.
And we also own an electric co-op.
I own this house along with electric co-op.
Grand Electric Cooperative is owned by our members.
I own this barbershop and an electric co-op.
Together, we're partners in keeping our corners of South Dakota vibrant. So go ahead and use your energy to own your day.
No matter what life throws in your direction, Dana Dental Arts in Spearfish reminds you to make you and your family's dental health a top priority. Putting off small problems now can lead to big ones later. We are small enough to feel like family, but big enough to bring you the latest technology. Before your lives get too hectic with school, sports, and other extracurricular activities, schedule a comprehensive exam now. We love our patients. Celebrating 50 years of dentistry in Spearfish.
Let our family care for your family.
On the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard from the opener tonight, the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers getting a win over Sundance by the final of 42-30 this evening. As we featured a few pins in there by Lead-Deadwood Zaid Seaman capping it off there with the victory at 157. The first of a few duels tonight. They're having another exhibition matchup now between Sundance and Lead-Deadwood girls. And we want to say thanks to our sponsors as well as the Lead-Deadwood Gold Digger Athletic Department setting us up here at old gym number 2 here at the Lead-Deadwood High School for the coverage of the Gold Digger Triangular. They don't have a whole lot of meets at home this year, so glad to feature them. We featured Sturgis a few times already, so somebody different here on this Tuesday night with a couple of Class B schools from South Dakota and Sundance from Wyoming. And our broadcast booth being brought to you by Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider to several area high schools in the Black Hills and northeastern Wyoming. Also thanks to Heiserling Concrete. You could give them a call at 605-210-2320. That's Heiserling Concrete. As we do an exhibition match here again, Lead-Deadwood and Sundance girls. Newell's getting ready off to the side here as they'll have a duel with Sundance coming up. The Lead-Deadwood boys, after this evening, they will have a matchup with the Badlands Brawlers. That's athletes from Phillip, Kadoke area, and Wall. That is coming up next week. They also have the Press Show tournament coming up. The Mid-Dakota Monster, as it's called. The Lead-Deadwood girls wrestling program. After getting some experience tonight, they'll be at the Douglas girls doubleheader. That's coming up at this Thursday over in Box Elder. They'll have Douglas senior night. It'll be Lead-Deadwood, Douglas, and Rapid City Stevens girls. And then they're going to be featuring Shadron against Dickinson in women's wrestling in a duel that night over in Box Elder. Also, as part of that Douglas event, Douglas, Rapid City Christian, New Underwood, they are co-op for wrestling this year for girls, so they'll be competing there. A couple things coming up here for Lead-Deadwood girls and boys wrestling the rest of this week. Harding County was scheduled to be a part of this triangular this evening, but had to back out due to some transportation issues. So quick call over to the Newell School District, and new head coach Tyler Watterson said, I'll bring what I have for wrestlers. That'd be 4 of them. And getting them into the action this evening. Good job by Millard there. That's Parker Millard getting a little exhibition in here against Sundance. Getting the victory by pin there. And now both teams will officially shake hands. And we'll get ready for Newell and Sundance coming up. Speaking of coming up, what do we have on KDSJ-TV the rest of this week?
Well, I'm glad you asked, as we are going to be headed to the beautiful city of the Hills in the northern Black Hills. That's actually known as Hill City, fun fact. As the Spearfish girls and boys varsity basketball squads will be in Hill City to take on the Hill City Rangers, with girls varsity starting at around 6 o'clock, boys varsity at 7:30 on Thursday, only on KDSJ-TV. It'll be a KDSJ-TV exclusive, as we got Black Hills State University basketball for the first time, and it feels like forever, on the radio waves at KDSJ 980 AM, 103.5 FM, and also online at KDSJ980.com.
That is Thursday night, so Steve Ammerman, we're going to put him to work over at the Young Center, the DYC. A doubleheader of RMAC hoops on Thursday, and then again Spartan hoops on the road down in Hill City over on KDSJ-TV. On Friday night, we will be back here at the Lead-Deadwood High School for the Gold Digger basketball doubleheader as they host the New Underwood Tigers. That'll be a girls-boys doubleheader, I think about 6 and 7:30 on Friday. And then Saturday we have more Yellow Jacket hoops as they will be at home again on Saturday afternoon for a doubleheader on KDSJ radio only. And before we get ready for the Sundance and Newell duel coming up, we'll take a quick break, come back with more of KDSJ Winter Sports. It's the Gold Digger Wrestling Triangular tonight. We're back in 1 minute.
Whatever the weather, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating keeps you in the comfort zone with expert heating and air conditioning repair or replacement from American Standard Mitsubishi. For over 70 years, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating has delivered quality service to the Northern Hills and Northeast Wyoming. When you need timely, expert service for heating, cooling, or plumbing, call 605-642-5755 or search Wolf's Plumbing and Heating and stay in the comfort zone.
Fisher Sand and Gravel of Spearfish supports community and school athletics. Plus, they support community development with services in and around the Black Hills. Fisher is an aggregate company headquartered in Spearfish with 2 local commercial quarries in Beulah and Newcastle, Wyoming. They sell all sizes of aggregates for commercial and individual projects from a pickup load to thousands of ton. Whatever you need, Fisher Sand and Gravel, proud supporter of all community, college, and high school athletics. Good luck to all teams and athletes competing in today's game.
And we're just rolling with the punches tonight here at the Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2. And we are high up above the wrestling mat here as we get set for the second duel of the night. And this one will be featuring the Sundance Bulldogs going up against the Newell Irrigators in the middle duel of the evening. As Sundance just had their duel with Lead-Deadwood, so Lead-Deadwood gets out of the chairs over here to our right, and Newell will take some of those spots. Newell bringing 4 athletes tonight, 3 sophomores and an 8th grader. Dyson Eichsenberg, Bodie Vanderboom, and Joe Eaton are the boys, and let's see, sophomores. And then Will Irk, the 8th grader. Sundance bringing 9 athletes. And we will be starting off and going here for Newell and Sundance. I will dive into the stats to see where we're starting here with this triangular tonight between Lead-Deadwood and Sundance, as well as Newell. If they do start at the 165 like they did last time, it would be Hudson Mitchell going here for Sundance. But we'll double check that. And we're waiting for it to refresh.
I want to say this is 170. Yeah, I honestly don't know. I want to say this is Hudson Mitchell and Will Irk, but I could be wrong as well.
There would only be, as I'm looking here, probably only 3 matches in this duel that would count for team scores, unless they're going to do some exhibitions as well.
I have 120 on the scoreboard, but I don't think that's accurate. Only a 3-0 lead for Sundance. They had a quick takedown in the match, and now with about 25 seconds left to go in the first match, Lead-Deadwood trying to get out, but both wrestlers rolling out of bounds, so no points awarded. And it looks like Newell will start off on the ground first.
This might be 120, but they look bigger than 120.
That's kind of what I thought. As now we got a big takedown from Sundance. No points awarded yet. See if he can get Newell flattened down on the mat a little bit more and get another 3. It's still just 3-0 for Newell. For Sundance, trailing Newell. As the buzzer goes, both wrestlers get up to their feet. I want to go with this is 120. So
it looks like Mayberry that went before for Sundance. So as I put 2 and 2 together.
The 138.
But just 3-0 in favor of the guests.
Now we have a takedown from Newell, so now it's 3-3 in the second quarter. Make that 4-3 with an escape from Sundance. So now both wrestlers get wrapped up. That shoots Newell right straight down to a double leg. No points awarded yet as Newell having control of that right shoulder. There he gets the takedown. Newell gets up now 6-4. 6-5. As now Sundance trying to get back underneath the shoulder of Newell. As now both wrestlers just trying to get control of each other's arm. No one really had a clear advantage yet. As now Newell on top is getting the right shoulder, trying to roll it over to the left side, and that's going to call it potentially dangerous on the floor.
By what I'm getting here from track wrestling from the crew down there at the scores table, it is
$120. There's an escape from Sundance, making it 6-5. It was 6-4 earlier. But that gives Newell right into a cradle takedown. That's getting back points on the ground for Newell. Shoots them up to 9-5 now, as we got about 15 minutes left to go in the second period.
So Joe Eaton is at 132, but he's been bumped up to 138 and going up against Keaton Mayberry. So Mayberry from Sundance against Eaton for Newell.
Okay, that makes more sense. Of the 138 match, and we've reached the end of the second period in the 138 match.
When you're missing a lot of wrestlers at different weight classes, do you just agree that, okay, just move up one weight class and we'll get a match in? So Keaton Mayberry for Sundance going up against Joe Eaton from Newell. Again, Newell only brought 4 wrestlers. They brought 120, 126, 132, and 190.
As now Mayberry had a hold of the neck of Newell's Joe Eaton, but Eaton able to sneak out of it, and now Eaton down with a 16-5 lead. And now that will be the pin. As Joe Eaton there at the beginning of that third period really came out firing, scored 6 straight points, and eventually getting the pin for Newell. And now we start to go through all the opens.
Cale Harless. Okay, so Cale Harless would be at 215. Looks like he's just going to unofficially drop down to 190 and try to get a matchup here with Will Irk, who's at 190 pounds for Newell.
At this point, you travel all this way, you might as well just get him some matches. No one want to go all this way into beautiful Lead-Deadwood and put on a singlet to walk in front of a mat, get their hand raised, and walk back, get undressed, and drive all the way back home.
And it's the closest weight class that they would be in, so Harless against Irk might be our next one up. Other guys going for Newell tonight, Dyson Eisenberger. He's a 120-pounder. Looks like he'll go up against Cash Peterson. And then Bodie Vanderboom for Newell. Good wrestler. He'll go up against Tell Merchant in the other matchup. So we got Harless going for Sundance. Again, it's Will Irk for Newell.
And right off the back, Harkless with a big double leg takedown on Newell's Will Irk. giving Sundance an early 3-0 lead.
So this officially would be a 215 weight class between Irk and Harless. A lot of Irks going through the athletic program over there for the Newell Irrigators.
As now we see Harless getting Irk over on his back. Back points were awarded to Sundance. They haven't been given out yet, but they won't need to, as that's a quick pin from Cale Harless.
So nice wrestling there by these two guys as they wrestle at 215. Harless will get the win for Sundance. Again, a small program here for the Newell Irrigators, as they had 3 sophomores and an 8th grader come over.
So now we, again, go back up and see what all's open, what's not open.
We should get a 120 match in here between Cash Peterson for Sundance.
Should be 2 more matches, Cash Peterson and Dyson Eisenberger, as well as 126 Tel Marchant and Bodie Vanderboom.
And they are going to match them up here at 120. Peterson against Eisenberger. Eisenberger for Newell, a sophomore, as they match up so far 6-0 early on in favor of Sundance in this second duel.
It should be 6-6 unless they didn't count that first match.
I'm thinking that first match was an exhibition because it didn't show up on my screen here.
So a quick takedown for Newell.
Earlier, Lead-Deadwood picking up a win over Sundance, 42-30. And a few pins there for Lead-Deadwood, getting a dual victory.
It's here at 120. Cash Peterson going up against Dyson Eisenberger. Eisenberger so far with the upper hand, up 3-0. As now Eisenberger rolls over Peterson onto his back. Peterson trying to use his head as a bridge, keep his shoulders off the ground, but that's just giving more near fall points to Newell. Points are awarded finally, so now it's 4 points for Newell. I believe that should make it 7-0. Scoreboard operators not doing a swift job of giving points to each team. As now we have 30 seconds left to go. We've got now back points for Newell. We got 4 more back points awarded for Newell. Should make it 11-0. I don't know why they, yep, there we go. Now we're getting it updated. Here, okay, here we go. As the buzzer rings, and we have reached the end of the first period with Newell at 120-pound Dyson Eisenberger up against Sundance's Cash Peterson.
And then we should have 1 more to go with the second duel of the night. Bodie Vanderboom against Tel Marchant at 126. Let's finish off this 120 matchup here as we get into the second period. 3 more points coming here for, was that for Newell?
That'd be for Newell.
Yep.
Make it, okay, now we're up to, okay, there we go.
In control of this matchup, 13-0 now. Good move here by the Newell Irrigators. Working hard is Eisenberger trying to get the pin, and he does.
Looked like a fish out of water was Sundance at 120 as Eisenberger gets the pin. Had both legs up in the air, shoulders plastered against the ground. And at that point, Peterson, there wasn't quite anything he could do at that point to get out.
So we move on to our next and final matchup of this duel, I believe, with Tel Marchant for Sundance taking on Bodie Vanderboom of Newell. This will be at 126. As they double check the scoreboard, it is tied up at 6-6 in this duel. Again, we had a lot of opens, only Going to be 3 official matches in this duel. They did one for an exhibition, and then the rest are some matchups here. Trying to get Bodie Vanderboom over to the scores table to check in before the Sundance guy gets his hand raised.
Be a very anticlimactic way to end the duel. Okay, now the score reads 12-6.
And they will get somebody in here to match up. Yes, Vanderboom comes out here to face off against Tal Marchant. As our coverage of the Gold Eager Triangular brought to you in part by Butte County Equipment, thanks to Granite Automotive over in Rapid City and the South Dakota Attorney General's Office Division of Consumer Protection. Let's get it on.
It's Tal Marchant, and for a period hit the deck, and he tries shooting in for a double legs. Just goes for the single leg as both wrestlers fall out of bounds, and no points will be allowed for Tal Marchant. So both wrestlers there at center mat going right back at each other as Bodie Vanderboom trying to escape out the back door of Marchant. And that is awarded with a takedown for Newell. So Vanderboom up 3-0.
Vanderboom is a 126-pound sophomore for the Irrigators. Vanderboom family.
Also saw Vanderboom play some baseball for Bellefouche. Plus 32 this summer as well.
Their family's big into wrestling.
I believe that was Graham Vanderboom. Don't know if there's any relation there, but.
Now they go back to center circle here.
So both wrestlers getting rolled out of bounds. So Marchant will start on the ground. Vanderboom on top. The whistle blows with about 50 seconds left to go in period number 2. Still 3-0 lead for Newell as now Vanderboom wrapping himself around the legs. Now getting control of that right ankle. See, he can use that to roll Marchant on his back. Gets Marchant on his tail end, and Marchant escapes out of it, and that will be an escape awarded for Marchant. As Marchant tried shooting down for a single leg, he missed. That gave Bodie Vanderboom a chance to shoot for a single leg takedown. That didn't work as well, and now sliding into a half Nelson is Marchant. As that gets Vanderboom on the ground. Another takedown for Vanderboom, up 6-1. Now with some near fall points for Bodie Vanderboom as the time blows, as now we got more near fall points awarded to Vanderboom.
So he's going to be up 6, 7, 10 points. So he has 10, and then Marchant with 1, so 10-1 here as they go into the second period. I believe the fourth and final duel between Sundance and Newell.
As there's that same thing, Marchant wanted to shoot down for a single leg. He backed out of it momentarily, and that gives Vanderboom a chance to shoot into a single leg himself. Neither wrestler really got any to go as they'll start off both in neutral. As there, Marchant goes into a single leg. He doesn't quite get the fall. No points are allowed yet. That, again, right on cue, gets Vanderboom into a single leg. Now he has control of the wrist. As now Marchant trying to cradle through the midsection of Vanderboom to flip him up over on his back as both wrestlers are grabbing each other's legs, and looks like nothing is really going to come of it. And now Marchant falls down on the ground. That will give the takedown to Vanderboom.
Looked like
now up 13-1.
Somebody was going to have to get some points out of that somehow, but it did go to Vanderboom with the 2.
You almost wonder why that how Marchant held on, is you want to make a move, but then again, you give up the takedown if you get out of it. So Marchant now himself in a little bit of trouble as he's bridged down on the ground. Vanderboom possibly getting a little too high. Marchant could duck his head and send Vanderboom out the front door. But Vanderboom doing a good job keeping his base planted on the back end. See, Rex Lyon taught me a thing or two.
I was going to say, you're getting better each and every week.
I also had some great training from a really good wrestler that I just happened to be related to. My dad was a state champion in Nebraska, not to brag or anything.
Well, you are, yeah. Well, good.
Didn't make a wrestler out of any of his kids, but.
I'm just going to stay quiet over here and take care of the stats.
Well, now on the other end, we got some near fall points for Vanderboom and Newell. And that turns into a tech fall.
So a 17-1 difference. And winner goes to Vanderboom, up 17-1. They call it tech fall?
Yes,
okay.
As it was past a 15-point deficit with the near fall points, and that will give Vanderboom and Newell the win.
So
far.
17-6. Let's see, 17-6 is the team score in this duel. And I believe we'll have another exhibition match here between Newell and Sundance.
I believe this is Halverson going up against Joe Eaton.
At this 132-pound weight class is where you'll find Drew Jenke for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. He's standing off to the side. He'll get recognized in a little bit as the lone senior for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Digger Wrestling program.
As the 132 match gets underway with a takedown from Sundance and Halverson. Both wrestlers now on the edge of the out-of-bounds line. They slowly start to crawl their way back into the field of play as Eaton with a bit of trouble already as a half Nelson sunk in on Eaton from lineman Halverson. Now there's the half Nelson, and he's starting to roll back Eaton. Eaton in a little bit of trouble. We got some more near fall points. A takedown awarded to Halverson, going up now 6-0 in the match as Halverson not able to get the shoulders down of Eaton, and Eaton's able to slowly start to rise his way off the back of the mat. Now Halverson, he gets himself into a bad position as now Eaton breaks the grip of Halverson in that half Nelson. Now Halverson down on the mat, Eaton in the upper position, and just like that, Joe Eaton, after falling behind in the match, eventually comes from behind, gets the pin, and the win.
Newell doesn't have a whole lot of wrestlers, but we see them showing up here and getting some good experience as they take on Sundance in this duel. Getting some more points for Newell as they're now up 23-6 in this duel. And Newell will take on Lead-Deadwood in the finale of the duels in this triangular. Sundance coming in from Wyoming.
That should be it.
Speaking of Wyoming wrestlers, Sturgis will be over in Gillette to take on Thunder Basin in a duel this Thursday. I believe they'll be open here the rest of the way. Gives us a chance to thank some more of our sponsors as we wait for the final tally here of this duel. Thanks to Tri-State Chiropractic up in Belfouche. Also Powder River Energy. And also thanks to the Auto Doctor in Spearfish. As the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers will have a lot of their girls getting some exhibition matches in and like a varsity inter-squad scrimmage later on this evening. The boys will match up with Newell for probably 4 matches in their duel coming up. We have a busy night coming up on Thursday. We're going to be in different directions. Clayson will be down in Hill City covering high school hoops with the Spartans and the Rangers doubleheader. We'll have Steve Everman over at the DYC, the Young Center over in Spearfish, as Black Hill State returns home to take on Regis in a college basketball doubleheader. And that'll be our Thursday night. Friday we'll have high school hoops over in gym number 1, just down the hallway here at the Lead-Deadwood High School. The girls and boys of the Gold Diggers will be hosting New Underwood. And then some more men's and women's college basketball on the radio airwaves coming up on Saturday. So officially your final, after all of the forfeits by Newell, that lead vanishes, and Sundance will win this duel officially 30-23. As Newell again only had 4 matches that counted, so they probably had 7 or 8 opens, while Sundance was able to have some guys in those spots. And in the end, Sundance gets the dual win 30-23 in this one.
Yeah, for Newell, they wrestled really well. They had really a few good chances to showcase what wrestlers they have and what they can do. As Newell, they had a great showing. Yeah, they didn't get the dual win, but the wrestling matches that they did have here, I think you just took into account the matches that they actually did wrestle. Newell pretty much won the duel.
Yeah, Vanderboom showed well, Joe Eaton, and we'll probably see them again when they match up with the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers here in the duel later on tonight. We'll take a break, come on with more of our high school sports here on this Tuesday. It's high school wrestling, the Gold Digger Triangler from the Lead-Deadwood High School gym. We'll take a 2-minute break and come back with more here on KDSJ Sports.
Sharing the good news, feeding the world, or connecting you with anyone, anytime you need. That's what we do at West River Cooperative Telephone Company. Over the past 70 years, we've grown and evolved, but our mission has always been the same. We're here to bring you together, no matter the distance.
I own.
Drive it on to victory with the Granite Home Team. At Granite Automotive, making all the right moves and scoring points for a better customer experience is a true team effort. From sales to finance, showroom to service, every Granite Home Team member has a role to play and a job to perform to make sure your next buying experience is your best buying experience. Enthusiastically on your side. Drive Granite. Go team. Go Granite. Buick, Nissan, GMC. Rapid City. Click drivegranite.com.
For nearly 50 years, Low Roofing Incorporated has been the trusted name in commercial roofing across western South Dakota and eastern Wyoming. Family owned and operated since 1975, they bring quality craftsmanship and reliable service to every project, big or small. From repairs to new installations, Low Roofing Incorporated covers it all. Protect your business with the experts who care and products that last. Call 1-800-658-4543. Low Roofing Incorporated, building a legacy of trust, one roof at a time.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of Pillin Optical. Since 1974, Pillin has dedicated its business to serving the community with quality eye care at a great price. The inventory has grown, giving you the widest selection of frames while maintaining the best prices for your family eye care needs. Your family is special, and Pillin Optical wants you to enjoy every minute clearly with them. After all, at Pillin Optical, quality eye care and customer service is the most important thing next to your sight. Pillin Optical, family owned for 50 years, 409 Kansas City Street. What?
And welcome back, everyone, to the Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2. The site of some high school wrestling tonight here on KDSJ, as we have a Lead-Deadwood Gold Digger Triangular this evening, as Newell has filled in the spot for Harding County tonight. The Sundance Bulldogs are coming on over to some girls and boys wrestling as they take care of another exhibition match down there. A nice pin for Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. And let's see if he runs by. Who is it? Oh, didn't want to stop and show us. Their name is on the back of their singlet, but I couldn't quite see. Let's see. We have Lead-Deadwood still to wrestle against Newell tonight. And just by looking at things, we'll have a matchup at 120 featuring Dyson Eisenberger for Newell going up against either Levi Key or Cole Harding. We should have a matchup at 132 with Joe Eaton for Newell going up against Drew Jenke of Lead-Deadwood. And then we'll skip all the way down, and at 190, Will Irk will go for Newell. And it looks like he'll be going up against Brennan Mead So those are your 4 matches that will count for the dual scoring in the duel between Newell and Lead-Deadwood coming up. While we get a chance, let's thank our senior tonight for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers here on this senior night. The only senior for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers is Drew Jenke. He's been a football player. We've seen him on the mat doing wrestling. He's at 132 pounds this year. As we recognize and celebrate the contributions of our senior participant and his parents, Drew Jenke, son of Alan and Jenke and Wendy Jenke, is our senior wrestler. As he gets recognized down on the mat, Drew has been a member of the Lead-Deadwood High School wrestling team for 4 years here in varsity, earning a letter each year. Drew is team captain this year. He earned Rookie of the Year for the 2022 season as a freshman. Then during the 23 season, Drew earned the Hardest Worker Award. He was named All-Conference Honorable Mention and placed 8th at the state wrestling tournament last year. Drew was named to the All-Conference team and was a state qualifier, as Drew's biggest moment was when he pinned his opponent in the blood round to place at state in 2023. Drew Jenke, once again son of Alan Jenke and Wendy Jenke, is our senior wrestler getting recognized tonight. And Drew might just have a matchup here against Newell's Joe Eaton coming up. So thanks once again to a senior wrestler for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers, sticking it out all the way through AAU, middle school, high school, all those road trips, tournaments, duels. Thanks to Drew Jenke being the lone senior for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. Again, they had quite a few seniors graduate last year, girls and boys. So they only have 1 senior and 1 junior on this year's roster for Lead-Deadwood, as Coach Sneesby and Coach Watterson are going over their matchups of maybe some changes. I'm not quite sure if they want to do a little bit different matchups, but they're talking things over down there. So we're coming up on our final duel of the night. It will not start at 7 o'clock as scheduled. It'll most likely start here in just a few minutes. And you can catch it here on KDSJ Radio and KDSJ-TV through our YouTube channel. So get ready for the first matchup of the duel. We'll take a quick break. Be back in a couple minutes for the Gold Diggers and the Irrigators in their wrestling duel tonight.
It makes you powerful. It's not only having a voice, but knowing that it's heard loud and clear. We understand knowledge can change your life, and that energy will continue to power it. And because you're part of a Touchstone Energy cooperative, we're always listening. Because you're more than just a customer, you're a member. And what's more powerful than that?
Powder River Energy, serving Northeast Wyoming since 1946.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX Series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity, hydrostatic or gear transmission options, and affordably priced. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. See Butte County Equipment, located on U.S. Highway 212, Belfouche, or go online to automotivecompanync.com. Jake's Collision Repair has built their reputation by...
Whether you've lived here for years or if you're new to town, everyone wants to know the best place to buy a quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, or where to go to have your current ride kept in shape. Brandon Kemp here from Superior Auto Solutions in Spearfish. Need new tires? We got them, all major brands. Your brakes squeaking, or do you just hear something that's not quite right? We can help. Or maybe you're looking to upgrade to something a little more suitable. Well, you came to the right place. Superior Auto Solutions on Colorado Boulevard in Spearfish, or find us online at superiorautost.com.
I'm Cody Oliver along with Clayson Davis with you for KDSJ Sports tonight as we come up to the Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2 and getting into the final duel of the night. The Newell Irrigators and the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers will start at 190 pounds. Newell Irrigators sending to the mat 8th grader Will Irk as he goes up against Brennan Mead for Lead-Deadwood, and Mead is a 9th grader. And this is at 190 pounds, our first match of this duel.
As we start off right off the back, I don't think it'll be quite a takedown for Meade on the 8th grader Will Irk, but Meade is right now with the upper hand as he tried tilting the shoulder, but couldn't quite get the ankle to come with it to tilt over, and that broke the grip from Meade, and now Will Irk converts on a takedown. So the 8th grader, after both wrestlers went down to the mat, Irk was able to take advantage of it first, and he's awarded with the first 3 points of the match. About 43 seconds left to go in the first period, with Will Irk now trying to flip the ankle up and over Meade. But Meade with a good base built down below. He's not giving Irk really anything to work for underneath. It's almost hard to see in the shadows. Is now Irk trying to sink into a half Nelson and hopefully try to roll Meade back over on his back. Now here's the shoulder getting bent up from Meade, and that's giving Will Irk some near fall points. The 8th grader with an impressive showing against the freshman from Newell, and that'll be the first pin of the match, and that will be with about 2 seconds left to go in the first period, but the Newell Irrigator 8th grader Will Irk gets the win.
Nice job by Irk getting some points here for the Newell Irrigators. Gets 6 of them there with the pin. So Will Irk, the 8th grader, gets the win there at 190 pounds. At 2:15, Lead-Deadwood Garrick Holsky comes out to the center of the mat. He will not have an opponent, though, as Newell is open. Both teams are open at heavyweight. We move on over to 106 pounds. Let's see if Sneesby or Camier will come out here for Lead-Deadwood. Owen Sneesby will come out, but unfortunately Owen will not get a match in, but he will get points for his team with a forfeit. The coach's son gets a hand up in the air from the official in the center circle. 113, both teams are open. And then we move on over. I think we'll have a matchup here at 120. Dyson Eichsenberger is scheduled to go for Newell, and either Levi Key or Cole Harding goes for Lead-Deadwood.
I think it'll be Cole Harding. So we have Cole Harding versus Dyson Eichsenberger, and Eichsenberger had himself an impressive showing versus Cash Peterson in the Sundance duel. Again, Lead-Deadwood probably will win the duel just on numbers, sheer numbers alone. But right now in the matches that actually matter, Newell on top, and wow, what a takedown. As a double leg that went straight to a fireman's takedown for Dyson Eichsenberger on Newell, from Newell. And that's getting some back points on Cole Harding from Lead-Deadwood. Harding in some trouble with both of his legs up in the air, and yeah, there's nothing Harding really could have done about that one, as Dyson Eichsenberger making quick work of the gold digger from Lead-Deadwood.
Newell only brought 4 wrestlers, but what they have for wrestlers have been shown up pretty well, as Eichsenberger gets the win there for the Newell Irrigators. So Lead-Deadwood does lead the duel 18-12. They're going to get some more points here as we have another open. So 126, Bodie Vanderboom comes out for Newell, and he will not have an opponent, unfortunately. But we will have a matchup here at 132. Joe Eaton going for Newell, taking on the senior, Drew Jenke, that we just recognized as the lone senior for the Gold Digger program. Let's see if he can cap things off here tonight with a win. Gold Diggers lead the duel 24-12.
And this could be the match of the night, honestly, as Joe Eaton had himself a good match versus Lineman Halverson. Drew Jenke, of course, the always impressive senior from Lead-Deadwood at 132. This could be our match of the night, potentially.
As they get underway here, this is at 132. Go my dashboard see here on Track Wrestling. They don't have their records, so I can't sound smarter than I actually am. So we continue with Clayson's play-by-play.
Well, what makes you think I sound smarter than what I actually am?
Well, you said your dad was a state champion wrestler, and he handed on all that good knowledge and wrestling ability to you, correct?
Yeah, it didn't mean I listened. He would also admit that, too.
Oh.
As Janke getting Joe Eaton out of bounds, but some near fall points awarded to Janke, so he will go up in the match big 7-0. Janke starts off on top. Eaton not really having a chance to get away. Now Eaton rolls over onto the back of Janke. Some near fall points on the mat. 2 of them are awarded to now Lead-Deadwood and Drew Janke, as he has currently owned this match with about 40 seconds left to go in the first. Is Janke now trying to get underneath the bridge of Eaton. Didn't quite work, so now Janke will then just try to muscle his way up and out, as now we have a potentially dangerous call on the mat from Drew Janke, so we will get reset up again at the center of the mat. Janke on top, Joe Eaton on the bottom. Joe B. Eaton not enough for only being 132 pounds.
Say thanks to some of the assistant coaches for Lead-Deadwood. Winter McMahon helping out with the girls program. Swade Reese is helping out with the boys, along with Mackay Hayes.
Also a very talented calf roper and team ropers at Swade Reese. Part of the Black Hills State University rodeo team.
The more you know. And Mackay Hayes, who just graduated last year for Lead-Deadwood, coming back to help out the program, and Matt Pell for Lead-Deadwood. So we learned that Swade Reese is good timed event tie-down roper and team roper.
Left-handed tie-down roper and team roper. Left-handed healer. If you want to talk about something that looks completely backwards, someone who heals left-handed. Don't think about it too hard. It hurts my brain too.
Okay.
He's talented at it. I don't doubt his ability. I've seen him do it, and he's really good at it. It just looks completely backwards to me. As we start off the second period with this time Drew Janke on the bottom and Joe Eaton starting off in the top position. Eaton makes his way back in between the legs of Eaton. Now he wants to try to get into a tilt, but Eaton not really, Janke not really allowing Eaton to get in the body position he wants. Eaton still trying to find something underneath, and it looks like Drew Janke will make it a stalemate. So now Janke will again start back down on the bottom. Eaton back on top. And let's see if Janke can break loose of the grip of Eaton. Eaton still having his arms around the midsection, and now Eaton will just fall flat. As I think now we got...
I heard something... illegal full Nelson? Is that such a
Yes. I believe I was trying to get into a full Nelson from Joe Eaton, so that's a point awarded to Lead-Deadwood. Now up 10-0. Half Nelson's legal, full Nelson is not.
As Janke leads at 10-0 here in the second period. We haven't had a match yet tonight go all 3 periods.
We've had a tech fall, and that's the only other different scoring we have had the entire day.
It's been forfeits and pins.
6 points all around. As now Joe Eaton still up and around the shoulders of Drew Janke. Has Janke's shoulder wrapped around, but Janke trying to go out the back door and break the grip and get himself an escape with about 8 seconds left to go in the second period. And it looks like Joe Eaton is just trying to hold on and get through the rest of the match. Not before we had a quick reversal by Drew Janke right before the end of that second period. Take a look at that one on the Tropical Smoothie Sports replay. But again, that quick reversal by Janke, getting out of the grip of Joe Eaton, making his way back on top and getting himself 2 more points, and we are about a takedown away from a tech fall. As we start the third and final period. Is this the first match we've had go to the third period tonight?
You are correct.
Drew Janke still just trying to stay on the bottom, as now Joe Eaton getting a little too high, and Janke felt it. As now Janke trying to escape out the back door, get himself some more points, as Joe Eaton eventually sinks his way back down. Still trying to work on the shoulders of Drew Janke, as Joe Elliott just trying to, almost in a roundabout way, bulldog his way down to the ground, but Drew Janke is doing a good job of keeping his head low, keeping his base square, and looks like both wrestlers are trying to find something open. Now looks like Drew Janke is just trying to take the wrist and roll Joe Eaton back over across his back and down on the ground. Joe Eaton has a hold of the ankle, so he's not able to get the momentum from the throw.
Eaton, a sophomore for Newell. We've seen their wrestlers throughout the night tonight. Only 4 of them, but they've all showed up well. Look at this one, going 3 periods with Drew Janke. And we're down to 35 seconds. Janke with a 12-0 advantage.
As now both wrestlers make their way over to this edge of the mat. Looks like Eaton has a half Nelson in on Drew Janke. Janke's just trying to keep his base wide. He's got the point lead, so as long as he doesn't give up the pin, he's got 12 seconds to survive. And now a rolled over from Drew Eaton. Janke able to build back his base and get back onto his stomach. Scary moment for Drew Janke. And the senior with a little bit of an experience, giving his hometown crowd a bit of a scare. But in the end, he will get the win by a major decision.
With that flip over to his back, almost got pinned there, was Janke on the far edge of the mat. So the points do go for Lead-Deadwood and gets the decision 12-0. That makes it 28-12 now for Gold Diggers on the dual scoreboard. Brought to you by Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. And let's see. This might be an exhibition, as it is Percy out there. Peyton Percy for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. The only other guy would be going up against might be Will Irk.
Will Irk, I think, is who that is.
Okay, we'll double check here.
I want to say it's, Percy versus Irk. But right now, after an early takedown and escape from Lead-Deadwood, it's 3-1. And I don't think that'll be counted as an escape for Will Irk.
By the count here, they have this Peyton Percy against Joe Eaton.
Joe Eaton, I was about to.
The last match was Bodie Vanderboom against Drew Janke.
Oh.
Lead-Deadwood does have their names on the back of their jerseys. Newell does not, so we'll just apologize. I'm surprised Bodie Vanderboom didn't. If that was Bodie and losing 12-0, that's kind of surprising.
Honestly, that kind of proved why I thought that was going to be the match of the night. I just didn't know it was Bodie Vanderboom. No offense to Joe Eaton, but.
After this, everybody else is open on the rosters. So Joe Eaton wrestling here at 132 instead of 126. So they moved him a little bit around so he could get a match in tonight. Percy usually wrestles at 138. So moving things around here just so he could get a match in. Otherwise, we would have another open.
He's got about 5 seconds left to go in the first period. 3-1. Newell trailing Lead-Deadwood as the buzzer rings here in Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2. 28-12 is the scoreboard for the duel.
So the Diggers will win the duel. We'll just, it's all elementary to see what the final score will be.
We got some scoring updates from our Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. We got some basketball on tonight in state of South Dakota, including number 1 Mitchell trailing number 4 Harrisburg in boys AA basketball action, 25-15, just about to hit halftime. Mitchell, the number 1 team in Class AA. And St. Thomas More taking care of Belle-Fourche in boys basketball action in Belle-Fourche tonight. It's 20-3 after the end of 1 quarter.
That's a part of a doubleheader between the Cavaliers and the Bronx.
And the second part of that doubleheader shows the Lady Cavaliers beating Belle-Fourche tonight, 45-38 in Belle-Fourche. So a good match up north in the center of the nation.
That snapped a 6-game winning streak for the Belle-Fourche Lady Bronx. And now they'll stoppage here with 1:11 left to play and they're left to go. And we're not playing around here. 1:11 left to go here in the second period. 3-2 Lead-Deadwood leading the match here with Percy.
Now, I told you last time we did a Jones County scoring update. They were leading their opponent 48-4.
Okay.
And it's now their turn to get their butts kicked. Dupree is leading Jones County at 20-4.
And at the end of this one, a nice pin there on the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. Home mat, they get the victory there as Percy with the win. He usually wrestles anywhere between 138 and 144. He is a junior for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. Peyton getting the victory there for Lead-Deadwood to get him up to 34-12. Then a forfeit will get us to 40-12. Lead-Deadwood won the first duel over Sundance 42-30. We'll see if they can get more than 42 points in this duel. Looks like Newell's going to be open, so Lead-Deadwood will get a win here with Zaid Seaman at 157. Both teams will be open at 165 and 175. And then we might have an exhibition match coming up at wherever Lead-Deadwood has an open spot here. Right now, 46-12. Lead-Deadwood has the advantage. Would that be your final score of this duel? As we look around for both teams, not sending down another guy for Newell. They don't have anybody else. All 4 of those guys have wrestled here in this duel, and Lead-Deadwood will win it 46-12 officially here in this third and final duel of the night. Apologies to Bodie Vanderboom. He wrestled him when he thought he was another guy.
Also wrestled actually a pretty good match versus talented Drew Janke. So
Drew getting the win in that one. And officially looking back here at the track wrestling results here for that one. And we'll double check how the things went here for the scoring for the Newell Lead-Deadwood match. Lead-Deadwood getting, let's see, they got victories there. Sneesby by forfeit, Camrier by forfeit, and then it was 4 points for Percy. And the rest were, we had a decision in there, and then the rest were forfeits for Lead-Deadwood. So they piled up the most of the points there by the forfeits and able to get the win 46-12. We'll take a break, come back and finish things up here at the Lead-Deadwood High School gym for this Tuesday night of high school wrestling, the Gold Digger Triangular from gym number 2. We're back after this 2-minute timeout on KDSJ Sports.
Make eating better, easy with Tropical Smoothie Cafe in Spearfish. Just because you're in a hurry doesn't mean you can't eat better. Made to order smoothies, wraps, sandwiches, and flatbreads that instantly boost your mood, all with delivery available. Plus, check out all the different flavors of smoothie bowls, salads, and even breakfast items. Located off I-90, exit 14 on Platinum Drive, just down the hill from the Holiday Inn. Eat well, live well at Tropical Smoothie Cafe in Spearfish.
Quality food at a fair price. That's what you expect, and that's what you'll get at the Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or to grab a bite to eat before or after the game. Choose from daily specials, and a trip to the fresh soup and salad bar is always a hit. Plus, the Millstone can accommodate larger groups, like buses or your next meeting in their private party room. So, if it's just you and a friend or the whole team, get a great meal at a great price. The Millstone Family Restaurant in Spearfish.
American Colloid, a minerals technologies company, is not only part of the community we live in, they are the community. Bentonite clay, mined right here in our own backyard near Belfouche in Colony, Wyoming, provides a contributing factor to this area's economic success. This unique product has a huge range of uses, from the main component in cat litter to health and beauty products, pharmaceuticals, and more. It's all produced right here in all of our community. American Colloid Company, working together, winning together.
For over 10 years, Allied Construction has been a trusted name in the Black Hills, providing top-quality construction services to our local community. We take pride in being a local business with deep roots in the area. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust us to deliver exceptional results on every project. Our team is dedicated to providing personalized service, ensuring your project gets the attention and expertise it deserves.
Check out their website today. Click alliedconstruction.com or find them on Facebook. One, but two great locations in Spearfish to gas up and get what you need on the go. Exit 8 and Exit 14 Speedy Marts offer everything you need so you can get in and get out and get back on the road. Find your favorite snacks and a cold drink, or maybe something fresh from the kitchen or in the cold case. It's all homemade right here. And Exit 8 and Exit 14 offers top-tier fuels from Phillips 66, so you get the most from your transportation. Exit 8 and 14 Speedy Marts in Spearfish. Right off the road, right on the money.
And welcome back to the Lead-Deadwood High School Gym number 2 as we finish things up for our triangular tonight, as they have some exhibition matches coming up for the Lead-Deadwood girls. A little inter-squad thing for them. They have some pretty good numbers for girls here for Lead-Deadwood Wrestling. Sundance and Newell. Well, Newell didn't have any girls, and Sundance just brought a couple, so Lead-Deadwood unable to get in some matches in front of their hometown crowd, but they will have that little scrimmage to help them out and get some time for them on the mats. As tonight, Lead-Deadwood defeats Sundance 42-30. Sundance got a win over Newell 30-23, and it was Lead-Deadwood defeating Newell 46-12. So Lead-Deadwood goes 2-0. Sundance goes 1-1, and Newell goes 0-2. Despite the effort of going 0-2, they did put up quite the fight here. Newell only brought 4 wrestlers, but they all performed pretty well. And that leads us right into our Superior Performance, brought to you by Superior Auto Solutions and our what would be called the Player of the Game or the MVP of the night. We send it over to Clayson Davis for that recognition.
Well, this is a first for our KDSJ Sports Packaging, as we got 2 of them actually today. We got Drew Janke of Lead-Deadwood, the senior on senior night, of course, having himself a good performance, went undefeated in the matches tonight for him, giving Lead-Deadwood a 2-0 versus these 2 teams in the triangular. But we couldn't just ignore the great performances by the Newell Irrigators, as I believe they lost maybe 1 or 2 matches the entire night, if my memory serves me correctly. And a big part of that was Bodie Vanderboom. He gave our first superior performer, Drew Janke, a run for his money, even though we didn't even know who he was. I do apologize for that, Mr. Vanderboom. But no, and also Bodie Vanderboom had a great performance versus Tel Marchant as well. The entire, there's only 4 wrestlers from Newell that came here to Lead-Deadwood, and they all performed very well. So therefore, we gave 2 superior performers. They'll both be on the ballot for January for our Superior Performance of the Month. And congratulations to both Drew Janke of Lead-Deadwood, the senior, as well as Bodie Vanderboom from Newell, being awarded our Superior Autos Performers of the game, or the triangular, I guess.
Thanks to Dana Dental Arts as well, as they bringing us some more winter sports coverage. Also, Exit 14 and Exit 8 Phillips 66. Our coverage tonight being brought to you by Fisher Sand and Gravel, and also by Gold Dust and Mavericks. And coming up next for the Lead-Deadwood girls, they'll be over in Douglas and Box Elder to compete over there in some duels this week. Let's see, they'll have also the Lead-Deadwood boys wrestling team they'll be going out to the Lyman Invitational, or what they call the Mid-Dakota Monster. That is a 2-day tournament this weekend. The boys and girls basketball team for the Gold Diggers will be in action tomorrow night down at Ulrich's. And then the high school wrestling team on Friday and Saturday will be over in Presho. They'll actually be staying overnight in Chamberlain because there's not enough places to stay in Presho. This weekend, Friday night, as high school hoops, as Lead-Deadwood hosts New Underwood. That's going to be our next high school basketball broadcast here on KDSJ Radio. On KDSJ-TV, we'll be featuring Spearfish at Hill City on Thursday night. And then also this weekend, the Powerlifting Club will be going to Hayti, South Dakota, the home of the Hamlin Chargers. So they have a powerlifting competition over there on Saturday. So another busy week as we come back from the Christmas break for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers. Wrestling fans, hope you enjoyed it tonight. This is our third or fourth one that we've done this year.
I believe our fourth.
First one for the Lead-Deadwood Gold Diggers, so it's starting to know the names and people here.
It's kind of a nice to go to another scenic venue in West River, South Dakota to host high school wrestling. We've been in Sturgis for the past 3 times. Now getting to be up here in the rafters or the track of the Lead-Deadwood High School gym too. And yeah, nice to kind of showcase some
different wrestlers.
Spotlight, literally and figuratively, on some smaller school wrestlers as well.
From Sundance and Newell, as they brought wrestlers over tonight. Thanks to Mr. Sneesby and also to Zach Clement with the activities department here for Lead-Deadwood, setting us up at our Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth. Join us for our next sports broadcast Thursday night on the radio. It's BHSU women's and men's basketball. And check out Spearfish Spartan girls and boys basketball Thursday night live on KDSJ-TV. For Clayson Davis, I'm Cody Oliver. This has been